For 15 years, I couldn't get pregnant. And then, suddenly, I got a call from the police. It turned out I had a 12-year-old daughter. But there was one problem. I never gave birth to her. How is that possible, you ask? I asked myself the same question, and when I found out who was behind this years-long deception, my world collapsed. It wasn't just some stranger. It was someone I trusted more than anyone. If you already suspect who it was, write in the comments. And if not, give this video a like in advance, because the truth will absolutely blow your mind. This story will leave you speechless. My name is Natalia. I've been married for 15 years to the best man in the world, my Dima. We live in a spacious 2-bedroom apartment in a good district of our million-plus population city. By all appearances, we're a model family. Dima is a successful manager in a large logistics company. I'm an administrator at a prestigious beauty salon in the city center. We love each other as much as the day we met in university, maybe. Even more, our love has stood the test of time, daily life, financial hardship, and silence, the kind of deafening silence that lives in a house where a child's laughter is never heard. 15 years. In that time, most people raise kids into teenagers. But in our home, the biggest child was our golden retriever, Archie, whom we got 5 years ago in a desperate attempt to fill the void. Every Sunday, that silence was even more deafening. Because every Sunday, we had dinner at his mother's place, Svetlana Petrovna. She was a real general in a skirt hall, well-groomed and sharp-eyed. A wealthy widow of a businessman who had left her a generous inheritance and shares in a construction company, bringing in so much profit she could have bought the beauty salon I worked at, staff included, and not even noticed the expense. She lived alone in a massive 4-room apartment in the historic city center, which she and her husband had bought in the 90s. It was filled with antique furniture. The walls were covered in paintings, and a stern portrait of my late father-in-law watched us from the fireplace mantel. She adored Dima and tolerated me with condescension. But her real religion was continuing the family line. To her, I was a defective part in this sacred mechanism. Every dinner was a sophisticated form of torture. Served with her signature julienne and homemade pies, she'd say things like, "You know, Irina, my friend Marina's daughter, just had her 3rd boy. Can you imagine? 3, she complains. It's tough, but her eyes shine with happiness," she'd say, staring straight at me. I silently poked at my salad with a fork. Dima would try to change the subject. "Mom, how are the tomatoes at the cottage?" But she wouldn't let go. "They've ripened, son, right on time." Everything happens when it should. You just can't miss your window. The clock is ticking. Especially a woman's. I know she meant no harm. She sincerely wished us the best. Her version of best, which included continuing the Orlomov bloodline at all costs. But that didn't make it easier. This had been going on for years. But true hell began after our last attempt 13 years ago. We spent all our savings, took out a loan, and went for IVF. It was our final chance, our last hope. We endured humiliating tests, hormonal stimulation. That made me bloat like a balloon and caused severe mood swings. And then, the day of the transfer. That tiny dot on the monitor, our microscopic embryo, was placed inside me. 2 weeks of waiting felt like death row. And then, a positive test. 2 lines. I sobbed with joy on Dima's shoulder. We couldn't believe our luck. The first 3 months were like a fairy tale. I was flying, talking to my belly.